Now, you might be thinking, Morty, you were gone for a month, you come back and your game looks like this, what happened? Well, I decided to reinstall my load order and encountered several skill issues along the way, so we're in the sheep costume because we're on the secondary load order at the moment. But I thought it was worth it for these mods, because when it comes to RPGs, especially ones that have come out recently, there's none that's been more influential and had more of a widespread appeal than Baldur's Gate 3. And that's for good reason. The amount of choice and just content in this game is insane. But the star of the show are easily its characters, and their dialogue with each other is genuinely one of the biggest highlights of any playthrough. So why not bring it into New Vegas? Why not bring a couple of other quality of life features from Baldur's Gate 3 into Obsidian's latest entry in the Fallout franchise? New Vegas' characters are already incredibly good, especially the companions. Easily the best in any Fallout game to date, and well, it's a shame that they aren't used more. Are we going to get them interjecting in dialogue? Well, no, sadly not. Although Party Banter 2.0 by IntoTheRough does a great job at having these characters interact with things other than just the courier. Now when travelling with companions, they'll, talk to each other.
How are you?
I've got bad things coming to me. You better keep your distance.
Sure, yeah, just okay?
With over 240 lines of spliced dialogue from within the game, these all flow incredibly well and feel like actual conversations. Half the time you can't even tell that they're reused from existing dialogue. These lines all change depending on certain quests that you've done, and there's additional barks that have been added in when finding things like dead bodies or anything else in the environment. The caveat to this is of course that in the vanilla game you can't have more than one humanoid and one robot or dog companion, which will significantly lessen your experience with this mod, so if you do decide to use it, consider running it alongside Jip Companion Control. It's a pretty big companion mod. It gives you unlimited companion slots and just a wider variety of ways to interact with them without needing to run up to them and use the radial menu. But getting back to the Party Banter mod though, the exchanges here are, well, they're just great. I loved this one that Arcade had with Rex, and there's others that are just as good.
And a cybernetic dog. After we deal with the whole imminent conquest of New Vegas problem, we should open an act at the Times.
Being able to hear them randomly when wandering the wastes really makes exploring that much more enjoyable. Pair this with a fast travel alternative that will have you walking from A to B more so you get to spend more time with your companions, and you'll find that your New Vegas experience just got a lot less lonely. And a great mod to pair with this, and just another amazing mod in general, is dynamic ambient dialogue.
Like the Omernus. The ones that run Gamora. Someone killed them.
New Vegas' generic dialogue kind of, well, it's not bad, but it just sort of does the job. It sits there at the bottom of the screen, slightly obtrusive, and something that games like Cyberpunk and Baldur's Gate 3 have seemed to have solved. And that's to simply show it above the talking NPC's head, and that's what dynamic ambient dialogue does. Now generic NPC dialogue, if in view, will be above the NPC's head. Even just a new way to display the dialogue like this goes a great way in modernizing the feel of New Vegas. But let's say you aren't looking at an NPC, well, their dialogue will still show up just at the bottom of the screen like it did in the vanilla game, albeit a bit smaller. The text size, wraparound, and everything else can be configured in the mod's INI, allowing you to customize it to your needs, which you might want to do depending on how much this next thing might annoy you, because sometimes in combat, enemy shouts can appear underneath their health bar. I don't think it's too big of a deal, and it is something that can easily be changed by adjusting one value in the mod's INI. So yeah, it really is a great mod, and I feel like I've been saying that word a lot, but yeah, it's a good mod. It makes all of the exchanges in Party Banter and any ambient dialogue in general feel a lot more natural, and the customizability here is, well, there's really no reason not to use this mod.
Howdy. What can Easy Pete do for you?
Another thing that's a staple in modern dialogue systems is a history feature, which dialogue history brings into New Vegas. This is accessible via two ways, either by pressing H whilst in dialogue or from the pause menu. It does have controller support as well, so you can access it even if you're not using a keyboard and mouse. Doing it from the dialogue window lets you review previous lines the NPC said so far, and even listen back to them.
First NCR Recon. It's a sniper battalion. Sees a lot of action. He was a good spotter.
Just don't try to do this whilst the NPC's already talking. In my experience it does, well, this.
Was a prospector until I decided to settle here to get away from the NCR. Now we'll just take it easy. Help out with the bombing and through old buildings. Way I see it, salvage means it's broken, near worthless. Me, I look for the good stuff. Nope. Had a pretty good claim once. We've been here. The damn powers of light can find a bunch of wild ones high up in the hills, but gotta be careful around them. They can put up a decent fight if cornered. Keep your gun handy if you go poking around some of the abandoned places around here.
But this may have been patched by the time that you download the mod. The other way to access this is via the pause menu, where in that it's separated by in-game days and then by NPCs, which is really useful for searching down that one specific line, or I guess you could use the search function to look for a specific NPC you've spoken to as well, which just speeds up the whole process. Here you can also re-listen to the dialogue lines, which is just incredible.
Keep your gun handy if you go poking around some of the abandoned places around here.
Overall, I think all of these mods are really nice to have in your game. Each is just a flat out improvement over the vanilla game in my opinion. So if you want to download these, they'll all be linked in the description. And don't forget to endorse the mods if you do end up using them. With that being said though, please like, subscribe and do all of that sort of stuff if you want. I'm not gonna force you. But hopefully there's another video soon, who knows. Maybe I'll actually finish that Tale of Two Wastelands one I've been working on for God knows how long now. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed.